Nvidia is reporting earnings today. We are waiting for their earnings to come out. They are estimated, analysts are looking for 70 cents earnings per share, GAAP earnings per share 40 cents, with revenue of 5.82 billion. Now, as you can see, over the last 3 months, revisions have been down, right? Meaning analysts have adjusted their expectations down for both earnings per share and revenue per share, right? And we can see if we're looking out to 2023 and 24, we're looking at earnings. Analysts are expecting 335 for the year of 2023, which is down 24% from last year, but then a jump to 443, which is a 32% jump the following year. And you can see over the last month, it's trended down a little bit. Over the last 3 months, it's trended down. And over the last 6 months, January 2023 earnings expectations are down 38%. That's how much this market has come down. And we're going to see the same thing for revenue, right? For 2023, analysts are expecting 26.97 billion in revenue growth, which is only 20.2% year-over-year growth. And again, trending down. For 2024, expecting them to get back to 15% revenue growth. What we're going to see when Nvidia comes out is if there's more adjustments down that are coming, if they miss, if they hit, or what. As you can see, the stock is down 47% year to date. But over the last month, the stock has rallied hard. We've seen CPI or inflation numbers come down. That means that people are thinking the Fed is not going to raise rates as long. So people have gotten kind of bullish on these stocks. We've seen good news from semiconductor stocks. Taiwan Semi came out with strong earnings. ASML came out with strong earnings. And so what I think has happened, this is a total guess, is that Nvidia has traded ahead of earnings coming out. And my guess, I could be wrong. Again, I don't own this stock right now. Here are the stocks that I own, just full transparency. You can see I own Taiwan Semis. That's my semiconductor exposure, not Nvidia. And the reason being is that I think Nvidia is a little bit overvalued for what I think is going to be the potential for a disappointing quarter over the short term. I would love to own this company long term, but at a PE of 46, I mean, it's come way down, right? But it was all the way up to 81. Now it's at 46. It's still a little bit above where it's traded historically. And these have been elevated PEs these last few years. And if you go a little longer term, like about 10 years, then the average PE has actually been 32. And we're about 30% above that, right? So I would like to see this stock come down a little bit. And then I would entertain owning it. But even if you look at it on a price to sales basis, we still see the same thing trading at a blended price sales of 15. It's almost double its 10-year average, right? And so I just think this stock is overvalued right now, and it really didn't start trading this way until 2019, right? I might be eating my words as I'm doing this live when earnings come out. So we'll see what earnings actually are and if maybe they crush it and the stock rockets. Okay, as you can see, it was just a bad day for the whole market today. Target's earnings came out. They warned about soft holiday sales. I covered that in a video this morning, so check that video out. NASDAQ dropped 1.5%, Russell dropped almost 2%, the VIX dropped 2%, which is weird when the market's down, and my portfolio took a $5,700 loss today, down 4%. But let's zoom out just a little bit, and still over the last week, we're up $17,000. Over the last month, we're up $9,000, and then all time, we're back to down $13,900. Yesterday, we were like only, I don't know, $6,000 down. I was like, all right, things are going great. And then here we go, another down day. But that's the way investing works, and I'm in this for the long term. While we're waiting for earnings to come out, let's jump over to Whale Wisdom and see what hedge funds bought and sold Nvidia in the last quarter, and we'll get an idea if they're like more bullish or less bullish on it, right? So for the quarter, as of the latest Q3 2022 13F filings, 37 hedge funds have it in their top 10. Down from 45. There are 419 hedge funds that are holding it, down from 433. There are actually more shares overall, up from 211 million shares, up from 204 million. That's 8.49% ownership from hedge funds that own Nvidia. 26 hedge funds started it as a new position. 178 increased the position, 33 closed, and 179 decreased the position. And so you can see more decreased or sold than started a position or increased the position. There are 28.79 million calls and 34.24 million puts. So needless to say that in general, overall hedge funds are more bearish on Nvidia for the upcoming quarter than they were, or for the foreseeable future than they were last quarter. For me to get like really interested in this stock, it would have to come down to probably really around 110 or so, maybe a little bit below 110. We saw it got down to 112. I think I'd want to see it below 110 to be really excited about the stock, especially given how cheap I think things like Taiwan Semi are, Meta. You can see I own those positions. Those are my largest positions. Like, I would rather have my exposure in Taiwan Semi, which for comparison, a blended price sales ratio of 6, and then a PE of 13, which is like Nvidia was at 36 or something like that, and is far below their historical averages. A lot of China fear there, and just less. I mean, people were excited about Taiwan Semi, but less excited about it than, a name like Nvidia. I think what we could see from Nvidia is a lot of pain from the crypto industry. It happened to them in the past, and I expect it to happen again now. Okay, and we've got an initial jump in shares, right? I'm not doing anything right now. I'm just tracking this. I don't really trade off of earnings. So I'm guessing earnings probably came out. They might be better than expectations because the stock is higher. So maybe I'm going to be eating my words here. Let's see if we get an update and if earnings came out. Okay, so we see the stocks up. Sometimes these things come out first on this global newswire site. It will come out everywhere else, but GAAP earnings per share was 27 cents. Let's see what was expected. Okay, analysts were expecting 40 cents and normalized, so adjusted EPS of 70 cents. Let's see what came out. 58 cents, so that missed too. Okay, clearly, at least right now, it looks like the market's reacting positively, so maybe this was less bad than the market was fearing. And maybe there was something in guidance or narrative that the CEO said, we're quickly adapting to the macro environment, correcting inventory levels and paving the way for new products. Okay. They returned $3.75 billion to shareholders, $9 billion in the first 3 quarters, with $8 billion remaining under their current repurchase authorization. Okay, Q3 revenue, $5.9 billion. Let's see what analysts were expecting. $5.8 billion. So they actually beat a little bit on revenue, but clearly had to come down a little bit on costs or something like that. And so I'm sure margins are down 11.6%. Okay, and so the outlook must not be too terrible if the stock's not totally crashing yet, because the current quarter wasn't good. Revenue is expected to be $6 billion plus or minus 2%. So what was expected? Okay, for Q4, I'm seeing $6.14 billion. So under what analysts are expecting. Yeah, I mean, maybe the stock has just sold off enough to where the market's happy with this. They think they're expecting worse than what happened, but I'm not seeing strength in these numbers. Well, that's it. I want to get this video out and let everybody digest it and see my take. Need to dive deeper into like some of the segments, the gaming segment, the data center segment. Maybe there's some strength there, and that's why this thing's not tanking. But this was not a strong enough quarter for me to think that the valuation is justified right now. That this stock will come down tomorrow and the rest of this week. But again, I'm not trying to time this thing. I just think there's better value in the companies that I own. And if this thing sells off, I would love to own Nvidia just at a much lower price. Again, probably down in like the 110 range or so, just given all of the other opportunities that are out there I think have sold off more and are better opportunities. Just my opinion. I wish anybody investing in Nvidia good luck.